Alright guys, we actually have some pretty big news over here on the JP version of the game. I know that I'm like a couple of days behind on this one again. I was trying to cover the download campaign, and I wanted to do the video on Murasaki in case anybody was going to summon for her. Just wanted to make sure I covered all that on Global before I talked about this. But this is still something that I want to talk about, and also there's some interesting stuff about this rerun in particular, so we're going to kind of talk about that in today's video. If you enjoy daily FGO content, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I stream every weekday at like 6 p.m. EST as well if you're interested in stuff like that. Although, didn't stream yesterday because, I was having stomach hurt and was not really feeling like I could properly stream. But yeah, the reason this is a big deal on the JP version of the game right now, this rerun, is that they mentioned how they really didn't want to do that many reruns anymore, right? They wanted to start pushing newer content on FGO and wanted to kind of shy away from reruns. And I know a lot of people were kind of freaking out about that when they first announced that. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal because I'm like, okay, as long as they just do reruns or main interludes for the free-to-play servants, it's completely fine. Because that's the thing that people really care about. Like, nobody really cares about doing, the not imaginary scramble, but the Voyager event again. Like, nobody even really liked that event the first time. Having to do it again, there's like very few people that really even cared about that, right? What people care about are being able to get people like Kentucky Rider or Chloe or Assassin Shiki, right? Those are all like really big deals, and logically, I thought it made sense that, like, yeah, they'll just throw those into main interludes, right? That's perfectly fine. Just toss them over there, let people do them whenever they want, and focus on doing newer content, and I was all for that, because, new stuff, right? I want to see the new servants, I want to see the new stories that come out, maybe get Morgan and Jalter in a couple of those stories, because I want to get that extra lore, so I was completely fine with all that. But then they really weren't doing anything with like the main interludes. They were like, all right, here's Imaginary Scramble, and I was like, that's cool and all, this is a nice event, it's got a decent chunk of Saint Quartz, and it's got a lot of, like, I guess, material that you can farm, but I don't know, it just wasn't like super exciting, because I'm like, bring back stuff like Chloe, like Kentucky Rider, like, people need this stuff. My JP is like a year old, I could use a lot of these people. Like, I'll take another really good single target quick rider, right? Like, I'll take that guy. I actually don't really have a really good single, actually, I'm like, I got Ushi and that's really about it. I'll take Kentucky, he's got that 50% battery, still insane. So it's kind of good that they're bringing this back, because this is going to bring back Santa Carna. This is really, really sick, really good for that. But there's actually something interesting about this rerun as well. They've actually changed this rerun a little bit. So a lot of you guys will know that these rerun lotto events, they usually don't let you get like infinite boxes, right? Like, usually they give you like 10 boxes and then you're pretty much capped out. Like, you can't pull anymore. There's a set amount of stuff that you're able to get. This one, it looks like they've changed, because you can go beyond the boxes, right? Like, so there's the usual like first 10 where you get like the Ascension material for your Karna, and you're usually getting like Meteor Foes and stuff like that. But then, as you guys can see, you could still keep going after you start pulling, right? Like, there's not like the limit like there is usually, which is really insane, right? It's really, really cool. And because usually when these lottos come out, it's like, yeah, it's like really cool and all that, like, I can farm like 10 boxes and that's a nice chunk of material, but you can actually farm this one out. It's really, really nice. I mean, we did just get a lotto on JP, and people have been asking me, specifically on like streams and stuff, they've been like, do you think we're going to get a new lottery event over on JP, because we always get a Christmas lottery? And I was like, of course, yeah, we always get a Christmas lotto. We're going to get something. But they also said that there are no new servants coming out for the rest of 2022. Like, the next new servant we're going to get is going to be for New Year's, more than likely, right? Unless they, for whatever reason, don't also drop a new servant for New Year's. But they said for the rest of 2022, no new servants. So I was always thinking, okay, maybe that doesn't disinclude like stuff like the free-to-play, right? Like, maybe they'll do like a Christmas event where they'll give us like a new free-to-play servant, but there's no new like actual gacha servant, right? Maybe that's what they mean. Again, kind of hard to understand sometimes when you're watching a JP stream and you're relying on like two people to kind of like live translate. So it's like, does that mean like no gacha servants or no new servants, period? Like, not even free-to-plays? And turns out it means we're not going to be getting anything new. So that's kind of interesting that they decided, like, you know what, let's just toss them the Santa Carna event. This will allow people that haven't got him to get him, which, you know, is really cool. And then we'll just let them free farm this as much as they want. So it's really, really sick. It's also kind of nice because it means that I can make like an event guide for this on global, like when it's going to be coming out, which should be, I believe, around the 11th. There's a social media campaign where it's like retweets and likes, and that ends on the 11th. So should be the 11th that the event should be out, or at least we've gotten some details about it. But it's kind of nice that I could drop like, all right, here's the Christmas guide, and it works for both versions. I've also heard some people kind of posit the idea that maybe they're throwing this out right now because it's basically the same event on both versions. Like, you kind of just toss them both out with like minimal differences, right? There's like minimal changes between Global getting this for the first time and, you know, JP getting it again, right? There's like not a whole lot that they have to change. So it might just be a lot easier for them to kind of like manage between the both of the different versions, that they could just toss them both out. But it's just really interesting because we're starting to get kind of like an insight to kind of how they do things. And I also, just as an aside, like the idea that they're telling us, hey, there's no new servants coming out for the rest of the year. Like, it's just going to be like a rerun, and that's going to be it. And then New Year's, we'll probably start releasing guys again, right? Like, I think that's really cool. I like that they're being very, like, open about the idea that, hey, we're not going to be doing as much reruns, but when we bring a rerun back, it's, like, really good like this. And I don't know. I just really like it when these gacha games, or, like, really just any game in general, actually talks and gives us information, right? It's one of the reasons that I really like Dokkan. If you don't play Dokkan, they do similar live streams to FGO, where they'll be like, hey, like, here's some stuff, this is what we're going to be doing, we're planning on releasing this sometime in the future, you can just be looking forward to it, here's like developer notes and stuff like that. I like that FGO is doing that more often. Like, we're getting these live streams where they'll talk about and inform the player base about the events and everything, and like what they're planning on doing. So I really do like that. I think it's going to be healthy for the game going forward. So yeah, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Are you guys excited about this rerun event? Do you like that they've changed this? I think this is a very, very healthy change. I think this is very good, because I was personally like, great, rerun lotto event where I'm not going to be able to farm anything because I still got apples to spend. But turns out, no, you could farm this as much as you want. It actually messed up my previous recording because I went in here and I was like, this is going to suck. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute, I probably should have checked it before I went in the video. Yeah, I guess that's on me. So, and it even threw me for a loop. So I don't know, I'm pretty excited about it. Again, if you want to play JP, now is definitely a good time to go hop in. There's another lotto, and I believe this is the one, if I'm not mistaken, that has the Jason farming node. And Jason, as you guys know, is basically a free-to-play servant, right? Yeah. There's like the Lancer node that you could farm with Jason over here. This one is really, it's really sick that you're able to do stuff like that. So like, if you can't do like the Insano nodes down here, you're able to go ahead and do this. Is this insane? No, for like an all node, this is actually pretty nice. That's not too difficult. I'll probably, yeah, I think I can do that on JP. So yeah, this is really, really nice. Yeah, anyway, leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.